Huh. This is already a lot different than what I was expecting. She lit a second cigarette with the embers of the first one. She trembled, sweating a little under a heavy coat. It was warmer near the doors, but she was following directions, no smoking within 25 feet of hospital entrance. Kate gently rolls a fallen branch and plucks something white from the underside. She holds it up for Ezra to examine. Oh. Okay, so one is a memory, one is a current action. I'm going with a memory. She stood by the hot dog cart, parked at the edge of the sidewalk. Pluricibella porogenus. Common name is angel wings. Isn't that pleasant? They have a delicate springy texture and they're tasty, like sweet moss. Would you like a bite? Oh, that's weird. Ah, controller kind of weird here. Okay. Ezra takes a small bite and ruminates. What do you think? It's supposed to be spicy? No. Go ahead and spit that out. It's okay. My mushroom hunting mentor told me it's useless to pretend to know mushrooms. They escape your erudition. The more you know them, the less sure you are about identifying them. She taps the cover of the small red book she's carrying. That's why I always bring my favorite guidebook. Kate points to a small mushroom growing in the dirt. Oh, here's an important one to recognize, though. Look, see this sort of greenish parlor of the cap? Amantia phalloides. That's Greek. Amantia means mushroom, and phalloides means, never mind. Green, it means mushroom dick. It smells like honey. Yeah, sort of nauseating, though, right? Sickly sweet. Death cap, that's the common name. It's killed a lot of people, this little mushroom, including a few Roman emperors. It's a revolutionary. Even with a Buddha died from eating a mushroom when he was very old. That's just what they do. Clear away old things. Make room for the new. Pretty important, right? I've always thought they deserved a little more respect. Would you like to help me look for a few more? I have a sort of shopping list. Great. Look for... Actually, just grab any mushrooms that catches your eye and throw them in this bag. Let me know when you're done and I'll see what you got. Fun! That's the second rule of mushroom hunting. The first rule is ask Kate before eating anything, okay? Oh, jeez. This is... okay. Kate will examine some tree roots. She spots a couple of intruding growths along the root of the tree, a speckled white ball, and a cluster of softly glowing amber caps. We guess it's a rotting stump. The stump is ringed with overlapping shelves of mushrooms striped brown, blue, gray, white. A caterpillar crawls along one of them. He didn't like to play in the house. It was always too cold. It seemed to store up the cold at night and then slowly discharge it into his bones during the day, while the sun bounced feebly off the windows. But he liked to play in the woods behind the house. He didn't have any friends nearby. None of their new neighbors seemed to have any children his age. So he played alone in the woods. Alone, except for the deer. He'd inspect the caterpillar. Caterpillar shuffles listlessly across the mushroom. Seems to be dragging several of its legs. It's odd. Brown-black thread protrudes about 2 inches out of its head. He saw strange lights in the trees, flickering purple. He kept going. Leaves the tree stump. Poke around the base of a cypress. Brownish clump of mushrooms feathers out from the base of the cypress tree a few feet above. Several pale blue puffs cling to the trunk. Hot dog vendor tried to strike up a conversation, with mostly some immediately too personal questions. She decided to give the benefit of the doubt, maybe consider this part of his job, she thought, to offer the customer some kind of counsel. Maybe it was to salve his guilty conscience for selling junk food outside a hospital. Examine the glowing ember caps. Mushrooms are slick and sticky to the touch. They are covered in smoldering honey. Yeah, let's collect those. The woods were full of deer. His dad said the deer liked best to live in the edge of the forests. Recent developments in the area had created lots of fresh edges, so the mess that they massed there sometimes ran into the road. Ezra crouches to get a closer look at the brownish clump. Blue puffs. Didn't find anything? That's okay. He prods one of the pale orbs with a stick, and it cracks open a little, releasing a fine dust into the air. He felt like the world outside the woods had He felt like the world outside the woods had somehow slipped away while he was gone, and now there was nothing but the woods. He kept going. Carefully removes his puffball, and puts it in the bag. I just found this one. Takes a bundle of Vanderbilt caps from her bag. These ones are really cool. See how they kind of glow a little? It's not enough to find your way in the dark or anything, but it's still pretty amazing. Anyway, I make tea out of them. Pretty good for headaches. Busher's back in the bag. Ezra closed his eyes, listened to the water and the distant click of bats. He tripped on a protruding root and lay for a while in the mud, examining the pale upper branch of a sycamore tree, listening to the soft rumble of the then louder and closer, and his hair stood on end, and there was the bird. So, you have a brother out there somewhere? If this would work? Julian. He's gonna come find me in the morning, after the work is done. Yeah, we work pretty hard. We spend part of each night looking for my folks, but now we pretty much just work. But maybe that'll change now. I have some new friends. Do you have a family? I almost had a baby once. Well, both of these are sad. I learned a lot about difficult pregnancies, at least, so now I can help other women. I've basically been on my own since then. Well, that's not really true. Just about everyone who sets foot aboard the Mucky Mammoth feels like family to me now. I guess if nobody's family, then everybody's family. These are the only two trees in this whole cave. Who planted them here? This island 4. It seems like somebody made it on purpose. Oh, right. This kind of nice, simple shape, pleasantly minimal island geometry. Months later, she came across a book on homeopathic medicine in a used bookstore and bought it. She thought it was mostly bullshit, but found the author notes on the unpredictability of mushrooms immediately compelling, spiritual even. I'm sure it could be natural, though. I mean, I don't know if the island itself is man-made or not, but I guess I don't know much about this place, really. It's supposed to be some kind of memorial to something. She started collecting mushrooms on hikes, never eating them, just collecting, identifying, discarding. Eventually she connected with the Lexington Mycological Society and began to study it in earnest, the medical uses of fungi. Will would know more. Sorry, it's a mystery. Ezra kicks the dirt. It's a mystery. I'll search for clues. She put out a cigarette and said goodbye to the hot dog vendor and spent the rest of the afternoon listening to doctors and trying to understand the world as they did, as a list of discredit injuries to be mended. Large stone monument seems like something Ezra would check out. Monument is covered with lichen and painted text. Reads the text. Rock graffiti. XO forever. Tree? Tree spells spicy, oily. Inspect the bark. A message is carved in the bark. Bark carving. Ozzy. Inspects the contents of his pockets. Alright, what have you got? Stone-faced monument has XO forever painted on it. Interesting. What do you think that means? Hug and kiss forever? Or they could be initials. Xavier and Olivia forever? Zerevase and Oliver? What do you think that monument is for? Not sure anyone remembers. That's my new favorite rock. Wow, even better than Dinosaur Rock? Dots. I think so. Somebody carved Ozzy on that tree over there. Oh, huh. What do you think that means? Part of somebody's name, or it's short for something. Observe Zero Yaks. I love how every single time Zero pops up, it's weird. Old Zebra Yard. Ornery Zoological Yacht. That's what's passing. What? What the fuck? This is a boat driven by cats. That's all. Okay. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it was a stretch. Well, Ezra, I can't say I know what that all adds up to. Like I said, I wish Will were here. He'd have some local history for us. We can ask him back on the boat. Look up at the old battleship drifting by. Oh, there it is. The Iron Pariah. Don't worry, it's just passing by. I don't know much about it firsthand, but I've heard things. Ezra's parents shook him awake. They seemed alarmed, but not immediately concerned. They led him back to the house, past the house, into the car. I've heard it was in the Civil War. I guess they had boats full of soldiers and supplies going up and down the Ohio River. And they fought on the river, like boat to boat, with cannons or something, I guess. Machine guns? I'm no military historian, as you can probably tell. Anyway, I guess this one just got lost and somehow ended up all the way down here. Maybe it slipped into a cave up north, and they're all connected underground. There's another version of the story where it didn't get lost and it was full of deserters and they came down here to hide. Maybe that's why it's a pariah. Supposedly there's nobody even on board. No people, I mean. Somebody told me she got close to it by accident and heard a strange wailing sound. She was passionate on the Mammoth, said that she'd been fishing on a rowboat and got swept up by a current near the Clutter place. Before she knew it, the Iron Pariah was upon her, and unimaginably massive up close, but eerily silent. The only sound, she said, were the lapping of the lake water against its iron hull and a faint sort of, well, she said a chorus of mews, so a bunch of cats. I'll be damned if I know what that sounds like. Never gotten close enough to the ship myself. More mysteries. They do pile up over time as people forget the details. Let's see what Ezra's up to. Dad said they were going to stay at the bus station for a while. The one with the little arcade with the card game he liked. Dad watched him closely in the rearview mirror, expecting Ezra to be excited or confused or scared, but he didn't feel anything. He hardly seemed to hear. In fact, he felt like he was observing the family car from a distance, from far above, from the clouds. Thanks for taking me mushroom picking. Mushroom hunting? You can pick apples, because they're right there in the open. Mushrooms hide. You have to hunt for them. Let's go. It's time to go. Not yet. Let's see what's around. Oh, nothing. Just nice sounds. Alright. Yeah, let's go. See that rough circle of rocky protrusions near the shore? It's more intricate than it looks. More than 2/3 of it is actually underwater. I haven't seen it myself, but listen to this. It's man-made, and the rocks weren't placed according to their size. So what's visible is more or less a uniformly random selection of overall shape. Looks like it might be a spiral, all told, or maybe some kind of meditative labyrinth. At the head of it is a petrified oak stump that was moved here from above ground, of course, decades ago. That's where the ceremony took place. The Lock-Lucks were married there. Many frail-tongued observers say that they should go with the lock or luck, or split the difference with look, or even lick, or really anything else, but it was never going to happen. Marge Luck and Errol Locke met in prison. No, we'll say Greta Luck and Norm Locke were high school sweethearts. No, Billy Luck and W.H. Locke met in a line at DMV. That's the best one. Look and pluck. Their driver's license photographs were mixed up by the clerk in a mistake they discovered immediately, but never corrected. Their engagement was welcome news to the family businesses, which have been looking for some opportunity to merge interests. The Locks ran a busy printing press, and the Lux managed a fleet of bicycle couriers. That seems... yeah. The natural step was to start a local paper that would become the Echo River Evening Record. The ceremony itself was humble and perfunctory, and it must have somehow involved these rocks. Maybe they walked around them in a spiral like a symbol of their ever-tightening bond. Probably the rocks marked the boundaries between the two families. Lux on the inner loop, Locks on the outer loop, or the other way around. Yeah, this one. It must have also involved a petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumors persist that the officiate wore a robe. Shannon, help me fix mushroom stew. Yeah, that sounds way more interesting.